purpose of this evening's session is to hold a public hearing on the Waldorf Station Development Agreement.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. Danielle Mitchell, Associate County Attorney for Charles County Government. I'm here today to provide you with an introduction of the Waldorf Station Development Agreement that's before you for your consideration this evening and a public hearing. As you all are aware, the Board of County Commissioners has directed many months ago a cross-departmental working group comprised of staff members from County Attorney's Office, Planning and Growth Management, Public Works, Economic Development, as well as Fiscal and Administrative Services to work with the developer Greenberg Gibbons, who owns the property located in northern Waldorf known as the Waldorf Station Development. This development contains approximately 453,000 square feet of development to include commercial use, office, retail, entertainment, a hotel, and a retirement housing complex, in addition to 798 residential units comprised of both multifamily and townhomes. The development agreement was proposed by the developer. The Board of Commissioners then directed it to go to the Planning Commission, which is statutorily what needs to happen for the Planning Commission to make a determination as to whether the agreement is consistent with the most recent comprehensive plan. So on May 4th, the Planning Commission considered that agreement and determined that it was consistent with the comprehensive plan. So that brings us to this evening. Before you can execute any development agreement, the Waldorf Station Development Agreement, you must first hold a public hearing. And so we're here for that purpose. So this agreement really details the respective responsibilities and obligations of the parties with respect to the development. It deals with environmental permitting, as well as road improvement and development staging, and that's really to ensure that both commercial and residential development move along and progress in a fairly balanced manner so that there's not entirely all residential at a certain point or entirely all commercial. It really should be balanced throughout the course of how many ever years it takes to complete the project. In addition to that, there's also a contingency for school allocations or school seats. This is not an agreement that is providing school seat mitigation. This agreement says essentially that the commissioners will consider legislation that would allow for that, and that if you all elect not to do that and not to make any legislative changes, the developer does have the right to void the agreement. With respect to environmental permitting, the agreement really identifies two streams that are impacted by the agreement and that the county would be responsible for restoration of one of them. Greenberg Gibbons would be responsible for restoration of the other. There's also Lot 3 mitigation and wetland disturbance mitigation that's dealt with in the agreement that explains who would be responsible for what and that's going to be shared. It's important to note, and I think I may have missed this point, but because of the Western Parkway bypass, this is a project of the commissioners that really goes right to the development. And so there's a need here for us to work collaboratively with the development and the developers in order to try to coordinate and ensure that the roads and everything that is being benefited by both projects, we're coordinating those efforts. And so that, I apologize for not mentioning that, but that's essentially what requires us to work so closely with the developers. Is in response to a desire of the board to really balance the residential and commercial uses on the property. So there are 5 stages that are called out in the development agreement. Stage 1 deals with mixed retail. Stage 2 would be virtually all commercial. Stage 3 would be additional residential development on the east side of 301. Stage 4 would be the additional commercial development on the west side of 301. And then finally, Stage 5 would be the residential development on the west side. So again, in an effort to keep it balanced and to ensure that we're having both commercial and residential throughout the course of project completion, there are specific development stages called out.
To watch the full video of the work session, click on CCGTV at www.charlescountymd.gov.